Hi, welcome everybody. We have a special guest today. We have John Pagulayan, the founder of the Freelance Movement Tribe, and what they believe, just to make me understand what they do. No, they believe in a different brand of freelancing. No, it's very exciting. He believes in the kind of freelancing where you don't need credentials, portfolio, or experience to land your high-paying projects and work with your ideal clients. It's kind of contrary to what most people teach. No, the kind of freelancing where every Filipino freelancer has a fighting chance to have the business and lifestyle of their dreams. I've known John for quite a long time now, before pa siya nag-explode at naging the legend. So, I just want to take this chance no to have a hearty discussion with him no. Hindi lang we will discuss in tactics, mindset, and it's gonna be more of a exchange no on how you can succeed in the freelancing space and reach yung mga 6, 7, even 8-figure paydays for you
Yeah.
and your clients. So, yeah, welcome to the call, bro.
Yeah, thanks man. Grab solid naman yung yung intro. By the way, how long have we known each other?
But it
Hindi ko na
was
maalala. Like 7
yung
years na ba? Like, is it 7 years?
yeah, yung workshop yun ni Marv De Leon for doon tayo unang nagkita. That was
No,
no,
it was a workshop
tama.
ni John
Ni
Arana.
John Orania, yeah, you were a speaker there. No?
Yeah.
Tama, tama.
That's 2016,
Siguro. Around that time siguro.
17, 18, 19, 20, 20.
5
Holy
years.
shit. Like, we've been with each other for like almost 6 years na
Ang
yata.
bilis, no? Ang bilis.
Grabe. Parang
Yeah.
kailan na nag-uusap tayo sa kasi we first met each other online eh.
Correct.
Like we got on a call and whatnot.
Yeah. I think I was the one who messaged you before. Kasi like, uy, parang fellow Pinoy din to. Then we are in the online space. Tapos di tayo
Oh yeah.
magkakilala. Then I remember I messaged you. Kasi yun, nagkausap tayo. I was doing affiliate
Kinukulit pa
marketing
kita
then.
na. Kinukulit pa kita nun kasi ikaw lang nakita kong unang Pinay na na legit na affiliate marketer, which I haven't
Mm.
really seen dito sa Pinas. Dude, that was
Ay.
2000. I think that was early 2016. Wala
Mm.
pa akong masyadong nakikita ng affiliate. Yung doing affiliate marketing talaga as a
Right.
sa like sobrang iilan lang.
Yeah.
So I was really interested in what you were doing back then. Tapos forte mo pa email. So talagang na-curious ako like, holy shit. May mga kwentuhan na ako.
Right. Eh, ganun din sa'yo, like parang ako, sabi ko, okay ito, si John kausap niya, like, people na parang I look up to. Tapos he mingles with them, like parang friends kayo. Sabi ko, "Ang galing nito ha." Tapos I wasn't really sure what you were doing then. Alam ko lang like they speak highly of you and you speak the same language. Sabi ko, okay ito ah. I wasn't sure kung Pinoy ka or Phil-Am ka. Kasi
Yeah.
ganun
Oh,
yung conversation niya, di ba?
actually, ang dami nagtatanong sa akin when I first came out. Like, saan ka sa US nakatira? Like,
Oo,
dito ako sa
oo.
San Pedro. Dito ako sa San
Ay.
Pedro. Uh,
Ang galing nga eh. Kasi like for me, ang mindset ko din, parang ito people na parang ibang level sobra. Then you talk with them na brad mo lang sila. It's like, oh, baka feel am to. Parang iba. So, it was amazing nung nalaman ko, uy, dito ka rin pala base. So, parang subconsciously naisip ko, uy, ito pala yung mga possible. Alam mo yun, like we don't have to
yeah.
if you
Yeah.
do if you put in the work, 'di ba? Hindi mo lang kailangan
Totoo.
maging idol.
Totoo.
You can work at the same playing field with them.
Yeah.
Yun.
Yung sinasabi ko, like, I don't know, like a lot of people want to be popular first. Bago,
Right.
alam mo yan, like, they want to be popular first before they do what needs to be done.
Mm.
When in fact, you can just be you and still be doing awesome. Wala
Right.
namang problema. It doesn't stop you tawag dito, from achieving what you wanna get. Like, being popular is just more like a side effect of
Right.
doing what needs to
Right.
be done. Eh, ngayon kasi people have this idea that I have to be popular first.
Mhm.
Tapos yung side effect, people would respect me for what I do,
Right.
etc. Parang ganon.
Right.
Parang balik baliktad, parang the cart before the horse.
Right.
Parang gano'n.
I think part of it, di ba, yung
Manufacturing tayo.
validation. May pagka-validation culture din tayo, di ba? Na parang if you
Oh,
don't post it on social, it didn't happen. And the same way na parang if you don't, people don't recognize you, parang your work didn't, parang, di ba? Parang it didn't exist. Parang it didn't bring
yeah,
value. Which is not the case naman.
yeah.
Um, Interesting. And maganda nga yun sa question, like, I have a few questions here na parang sakto din with that topic kasi it's a lot about mindset eh. Gusto
Mm,
ko lang malaman sa'yo, bro, like, what differs in mindset between somebody, a freelancer who's just getting by, no,
mm,
living paycheck to paycheck or PayPal transfer to PayPal transfer, to
mm,
somebody na 6 to 7 figure freelancer. Kasi rather than
mm.
going into tactics right away, I think maganda malaman natin yung context, the big picture, because the tactics will follow eh kung tama yung mindset mo.
Right, right. And I mean, I'm gonna, siguro na lang ako, but just to make things a bit easier to comprehend for most people. Like, if we're gonna approach it in a business kind of way, parang, ano eh, like, those who are struggling, not yet the six-figure, ano,
Mm.
they have this problem of sticking to just one offer.
Mm. Mm. Mm.
That's yung not really maling mindset, but kumbaga if you want that, di ba? Go ahead, sige, gawin mo yan. But those who easily, hindi naman six-figure, but more like consistent yung client, ano. Ang pinakauna talaga doon is yung ano, is being able to validate that your offer is working.
Could
Kumbaga,
you,
the first,
bro,
sige bro.
siguro, quick question lang. Baka merong ibang, like, might not be familiar with the offer itself. Or maybe, ang
Nice,
tingin nila
nice.
sa offer is, ito yung price ko, ito yung service. You know, yes or
Yeah,
no na lang.
in a way, parang ganon. But technically, it's the value that you provide in the world. Like, di ba? Hindi naman talaga yan eh. Like, kaya ka naman binabayaran ng pera. Lahat naman ng bagay halos sa mundo, binabayaran ng pera. It's because you're
Mm.
solving a problem.
Right.
Di ba? You're solving a problem and kaya binabayaran. Like, for example, ito. Kaya naman natin binili ito kasi I have a problem of bringing water dito sa station ko. Hindi ko naman problema, hindi ko naman bibili ito.
Mm.
Di ba?
Mm.
Ito, binili ko to kasi I have a problem being naked. Sino ba naman gusto na ubad? Ano? Di ba? Like, there are problems. Like, yung mga gitara sa likod ko, I bought them because I'm bored. I
Mm.
bought them because I have a problem with pursuing my hobby. So, kailangan ko siyang bilhin. There's always a problem being solved. Kaya may exchange ng pera. Diba? In a way, all of us are all businesses are problem solving. Diba? Parang ganun. Problem solvers in a way. So, yeah, just to get that out of the way, just think about freelancing or any business in that matter as solving problems for people. Para hindi, when you solve a problem, you get paid. Ang problema, most people who start freelancing, they don't know what problem they're solving. They just think about their thing as a, ano ba? Anong tawag doon? Yung parang tissue paper. Like parang commodity. They
Okay.
treat it as a commodity. Na, I have an item, you buy it. That's it.
Mm. Mm.
Not knowing, yung tissue paper, ang daming problema ang sinosolve nun eh. Actually, di ba?
Right.
Ang daming problema sinosolve nun. Kaya tumaas nga yung presyo nun ng pandemic eh, di ba? Like it's, yung alcohol, tumaas yung presyo ng pandemic. It's a
Mm.
commodity, yes.
Right.
But now na marami na siyang problema sinosolve, malaki yung problema sinosolve niya. Malaki na yung perang kapalit. Di ba? So, a lot of freelancers are obsessed kung ano yung commodity ibebenta ko. Ano yung ano yung commodity na feeling ko mataas ang bayad? Parang ganun. A lot of people are obsessed with that. And that's a mindset na we can't blame people for kasi we grew up with that kind of mindset eh. Like it's something na like we don't know how to exchange value for money. Diba? Like for example, pag-aral ka, pag magtrabaho ka, at pabayaran ka na sa no one goes into employment thinking, what value can I give my employer? Di ba? Walang ganun, di ba? Like, ang gagawin ko lang, commodity, syempre, commodity pa rin ang pag-usapan natin. I'm just gonna exchange my 8 hours in exchange for this amount of money. So most freelancers are stuck in that, hindi ko matawag na siya kasi malaki siya. Sobrang dami ng mga tao na nag-iisip. But they're stuck in that mindset. Yeah. So the other ones are trying to prove their offer. Meaning, when I say naman na offer, they're trying to basically try to find out what value they could bring to the table na babayaran ng ano.
Right.
Not really what skill, what hindi, like what value they could bring to the table
Right.
that can be exchanged for money. Yun yung
Interesting.
mindset nung okay na freelancers. Kasi
Right.
ang goal mo lang naman when you're starting a business, it's not to make money. It's not, actually, like kung sinasabi, at the first stage ng business mo, your goal is to just run wild and experiment. Yun lang yun eh. Kasi you're only, at the end of the day, the only result you're looking for is for someone to actually buy what you're trying to sell. Yun lang naman yun. Someone to exchange money for the value that you're providing.
Right.
Not to really find the magic pill, magic cure. Hindi yun eh. Just be able to prove that what na yung value na meron ka, kaya mong ibenta.
Right.
Yun yung pinaka sa unang
magandang point you said about experiment. Kasi I encourage that din with the people I speak with. Kasi sa business, magkakamali tayo eh. But when we associate mistake sa business, it means loss. And parang ang bigat niya tanggapin. Di ba? And that paralyzes us, di ba? Kasi sino ba gusto malugi? But at the same time, kahit anong iwas mo, magkakamali ka naman eh. So might as well treat it as an experiment. Kasi experiment, built-in, understood na failure is not something you avoid eh. It's to be expected.
Something that you
diba?
look forward to actually.
Yeah, oo. Right.
May theory ako, I want to prove it wrong.
Right.
Di ba, whenever you have a theory, you're not really looking to proving it right every single time. You're looking to prove it wrong.
Right.
But sometimes you want to make sure na all bases are covered. What if ganito?
Right.
Kumbaga, and for those naman na wondering, like, what if nag-experiment ako and something wrong happens? What's the worst thing that could happen? You're still back where you at. Eh, wala namang problem. Like, you've been there for the last 20 years of your life.
Right.
Diba? And then, pag may nagawa kang mali, you're still gonna be back to where you were. Like, anong problema mo? You've been living that life for like 20 years. Wala namang,
Right.
It's as if, di ba? Parang, yung iba kasi when they try freelancing, suddenly, it's as if they have something to lose. Diba? When people try businesses or any endeavor na naman sa buhay, suddenly, it's as if they have something to lose. Eh, wala naman eh. You've been that normal guy for like 20, 30, 40 plus years. Diba? If ever malus mo man lahat, wala namang ano. And with freelancing, mas maganda, you don't need any capital. So, diba? You don't need any capital whatsoever. So, technically, the only thing that you're betting on is yung oras mo. Yun lang. And time is something that most of us have an abundance of. Especially in pandemic.
Right.
Diba? So, I don't know. Like, but that's the difference.
Time, to add to your point, time is running anyway. Like, wala kang gawin, tumatakbo yung oras.
Yeah.
So, it's just about, it's gonna be spent anyway. So,
anyway, yeah, whether you like it or not. So, might as well spend it. It's a good thing, good way to think about it. But yun nga, iba rin yung mindset required to get to get to the to the uh, constant na nakakuha ka ng
Mm.
ng client,
Mhm.
uh, 6 figures, different din sa 7 figures. Yun yung ano doon, yun yung
Right.
uh, parang kumbaga at every level that you're playing, yung validation ibang mindset yung kailangan,
Mhm.
yung consistency of getting clients iba rin yung mindset na kailangan,
Right.
yung 6 figures iba rin, yung seven
Mhm.
figures iba rin. Yan.
Right. Just to siguro to drive home, to have a concrete visual, no, bro. But when you say commodity and some how you can present your value. For examples, I remember in our past conversation, you had this example then somebody who's doing transcription work that could be a
Yeah,
commodity, 'di ba?
yeah.
Would you walk us through, bro? Like how would a sabihin natin maybe a beginner or somebody who hasn't understand the power of offer yet, how would they approach yung transcription service versus somebody who understands the power of the offer and the value? How would they present yung transcription service nila?
Okay. Well, it all starts kasi with knowing what problem exactly are you solving, di ba? Kasi a lot of people kasi they start with um, ano bang ano bang uso ngayon? Like recently I saw a post na parang best freelancing something something. Tapos nakita ko doon IT. So more likely, malamang sa hindi, yung mga nakabasa ng article nyo, nagtatry na maging IT. Okay. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. Wala namang problema doon. That's the way you wanna arrange your business. Wala rin problema. The thing is, you're always gonna run out of things to actually sell when you approach it that way. Kumbaga, lagi kang naghahanap kung saan ipapasok yung IT skills mo. Ganun yung mangyayari. But if yung the way we're trying to teach it is that alamin mo na yung problema. And regardless kung ano sabihin natin ang problema niya can you give a problem ng business owner, bro, para ano ano bang
Say no time to like create blog posts, yung mga content to
yeah, tulad yan, no
yeah.
time to create blog posts. But then again, that's not really the problem. Pwede naman yung hindi gawin.
Mhm. Mhm.
Ang tanong doon, bakit niya kailangan gawa ng blog post? Doon yung
So yeah.
totoong problema. Diba? Like, yun yung, when you dive deep into it. Ayun din, isa rin mga mali. Like, they don't know how to dive deep into the actual
Mm.
problem. Like, surface problem lang naman. Like, for example, nagpapaganda ka. So, ang problema mo is pampaganda, hindi. Hindi ka papaganda kasi yung jowa ko hindi na ako mahal. So, instead of bigyan ko siya ng pampaganda, what if I just do my magic and paindabin ulit sa kanya yung jowa niya?
Mm.
Diba? I may not have the talent ni Vicky Bello para pagandahin siya, but I would be giving her the ideal result. Yun yung hindi nagigets nung iba. They think I'm selling beauty pills, blah, 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 para may, ano mo yun? But it's not.
Mhm.
It's solving the actual root of the problem. So,
Mhm.
sabihin natin blog post, bakit nyo kailangan ng blog post para, sabihin natin para sumikat siya. Ba't mo kailangan sumikat? Kasi gusto ko ng, I don't know, usually sabihin naman nila, para marami pumunta sa klinik ko, halimbawa lang.
Mm.
Gusto ko sumikat para marami pumunta sa klinik ko. Okay, kung yung iba siya sabihin, sayang, kung meron lang sana akong talent sa social media, pasisikatin ko sana siya. Or sayang, sana kung meron sana akong talent when it comes to TikTok, sikat sana may tutulungan ko sana siya. That's not the point eh. What if kaya mo naman palang magpapunta ng tao doon kahit hindi siya sikat? Diba? Pwede kang, alam mo yun, yung skill mo pwedeng nag-print ka lang ng flyers dun sa tabi ng mga papunta sa nito. And she gotten like three more clients. That's value in itself eh. Di naman kailangang sobrang astig ng skill mo to actually provide value to people. Or I could be just me. Tapos sabihin ko kay Doc, sige Doc, tawag dito, bigyan kita ng kapalit, itong bayan na to. Tapos ikaw, kasi wala kang talent, ang talent mo lang dumaldal, halimbawa, talent mo lang dumaldal. Hingi ka ng, sige, Doc, bigyan mo ako ng top 100 na gusto mo maging kliyente. Ano yung saka phone number nila. Tapos tatawagan mo lang. It's not, hindi naman, like, it's not, hindi, wala namang akong inaral na skill, wala namang akong inaral na tagatawag lang sa mga gusto niyang maging kliyente. And that's not a hard thing to do, especially kung hindi ka naman introvert tulad namin ni Alan. But there's value in doing that. Yun yung gusto kong makuha ng mga tao. It's not really the how doesn't really matter.
Right.
It doesn't really matter that much. Diba? Kasi
True.
yung ibang business, hindi rin naman nila alam kung anong gusto nila eh.
Correct. Yeah. Parang sometimes you get attached to the how eh. Di ba? Na parang, sabi nga pag if you have a hammer, di ba? You treat everything like a nail.
And exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Kaya pag gusto kong mag-solve ng, ito yung nakakatawa nga eh. Kapag gusto kong mag-solve ng something that has something to do with getting sales, hindi ako nagtatanong sa email marketer. Kasi ang sasabihin sa akin nun, send ka ng email.
Right.
Wala na silang ibang advice usually other than email. Di kasi yun yung skill nila eh. And I understand. Wala namang problema dun eh. But as a freelancer, your job isn't just to provide a service and be done with it, di ba? Your job is to provide value. And in order to provide value, you should be thinking about the best ways to actually help them achieve what they want. Nakalimutan ko yung quote. I'm not sure who said this. But you could get everything you want in life if you just give people what they want.
Right.
Which is actually true. Like, sobrang totoo ng quote na yun. Which is why one of the things that I follow sa buhay ko, yung sino to? Si Bob Berg. Yung sinabi niya na the amount of money that you have sa buhay mo, it's more likely equivalent to how to the amount of people that you've helped and how much you've helped them. Parang like kung marami kang tinulong, kaya di ba kung tinignan mo yung mga mayayamang tao sa mundo, it's usually Amazon. Like a lot of people are saying dapat di nila, like, dude, ang dami niyang tinutulungan tao, like by the millions. He deserves every bit of wealth that he has right now. Di ba? Like, marami yung tinutulungan, marami kang. So, I don't know if it's too simple to comprehend for people. But when I talk to them about this, like, there's a disconnect sa brain nila. Some people kasi we have this bias that if something is simple, it doesn't work. The more complicated something sounds, the more likely it would work. Bias natin yun as humans eh. Meron tayong ganun eh.
And part of it, maybe there is some resistance to it as well. Kasi if we accept the fact na simple siya and we didn't succeed with something so simple, what does it tell us na
wala tayong
parang,
malantagan?
Oo, kasi naalala ko there's this one case. There's this one guy na sobrang tiwala niya yung lalaki. Tapos, hindi niya mapapatay yung tao yun. It was a murder case. Then, dinedefend niya, even in public, sa TV. Hindi imposible yung magawa niya yun. Tapos, part of it, at the end, after realizing na totoong siya yung murderer, totoong swindler siya, parang na-realize niya the reason na pinoprotect niya yung guy in public was because he's protecting himself as well. Because if I admit na siya nga yung perpetrator, yung murderer, what does that tell me? What does that tell me about myself na hindi ko siya pinagkahinalaan, naniwala ako ng lahat, todo. So there might be part of it that we want to protect ourselves na parang baka resistant tayo na ang simple lang. Kasi kung simple lang, what does that tell me na ang simple lang hindi ko magawa? Kaya we're looking for...
Totoo yun, bro. Like, actually, I'm gonna go even further and say that we're trying to protect people na we love. We're trying to protect our parents. Kasi we don't want ayoko masabi na turo sa akin ng mga magulang ko mali.
Mm. Right.
Diba?
Right.
We want to protect our environment. We don't want to say na, oh my God, all this time my childhood was a lie. Like hindi na, ayaw nating maramdaman
Right.
yun, di ba? Like it's not,
Right.
but yun nga yung ironic doon because unless you let go of that ego
Mm-hmm.
of being
Right.
wrong,
Mm-hmm.
it's hard to create a business actually.
Right.
Di ba?
Right.
Kasi we're wrong most of the time.
And that's what
Parang
I
alam
notice sa
mo,
mga successful, bro, na parang they accept mistakes and parang they laugh it off, some of them. Na parang
yeah.
parang this is the least of my worries, parang being wrong. And they are the ones na parang kapag may nakita silang mas magaling sa kanila, they be the first one to, uy, patulong yan. Parang what I feel na yung ego nila doesn't hinder them. No,
Yeah.
parang kung may mas magaling sa akin kahit 10 years old lang siya, papaturo ako kahit like super sikat na siya or super galing na. Yun yung napansin ko that they don't let ego hinder their growth.
Yeah. And I mean, ito, let me give you a concrete example. This is a perfect example of the difference between 6 and 7 figures.
Mm.
Kasi those who are at 6, they will make this belief na I could do this myself. They will have that belief. They will hold that belief. And mararating nila yun. 6 figures lang naman. Mararating nila yun yung 6 figures. Mararating nila yun doing it by themselves. They've probably tried hiring other people. It didn't work. And then they said to
Mm.
themselves, fuck it, I'm just gonna do this myself.
Mm.
And it would work. The problem is, kapag inaccept na nila yung belief na yun, it's hard to go to 7 figures.
Mm.
Kasi going to 7 figures would require other people's help.
Mm.
Ang problema, tinrap mo na yung sarili mo ngayon dito na pag accept mo yung fact na to go to 7 figures, kailangan mong gawin to. It's like telling yourself na, holy fudge, for the past 2 years, mali ako. So, some people would be, ganun pala yun, sige gawin natin yan. Now, some people na hindi nakaalis to 6 figures would say, hindi, kaya kong patunayan na kahit mag-isa lang ako, makapunta ako sa 7.
Right.
So, like, yun. Yun yung ano, like, sabi ko nga, like, yung going from each level requires a different kind of, of, of mindset altogether. Parang ganun.
Right.
So, di ba, it's a trap that we often set ourselves. Like, hindi, ako gagawa nito. Like, and then, it's, by the time they realize it, sometimes it's too late.
Yeah.
Yung tipong nawala na sila ng mga kliyente kasi nagkasakit sila.
Right.
Nawala na sila ng kliyente. So, babalik sila sa dati, hindi na nila maibalik kasi nawala na yung momentum, and then nagpile yung ano, and then parang ma-realize na dapat pala noon pa ako nagpile. So, parang nagsa-self-pity na, and then wala na.
I guess like to recap some of the takeaways siguro, bro. Kasi I think one of it, nabanggit mo yung about the offer. Siguro something that people must realize is yun nga, yung parang critical thinking din. Like understand the real problem and be flexible in giving. What people care about is the solution. How you give the solution, the result they want. They really don't care much how you do that as long as it's delivered. And
Yep.
secondly, siguro, with the mindset, no, parang we have to understand that we don't have to let our ego get in the way. And siguro something that we haven't talked about, but I feel that it's implied sa gusto nating sabihin is, let's not be too hard on ourselves. If this is the time na nirealize mo ito, like, don't be too hard on yourself with regard to the past. Like, be kind to yourself and forgive yourself as well. Like, I'm sure kami din ni John, may mga things na gusto namin, sana alam na namin before. But you can't really move forward if you're hanging on to that eh. So, screw it. Sorry, nagkamali ako. Di ba? Parang kay Marie Kondo, di ba? Parang, thank you. Thank you ka sa mga things that
Mga
you
bagay
won.
sa mga bagay.
Bagay na, yan, nag-thank you ka. So, parang you can thank your, like, past mindset. You served me up to this point. Di ba? I can move forward. So, yun lang. Parang, ayoko yung may nanonood dito, then later on, inisip parang, instead of gumaan loob nila sa panonood sa atin, ay parang they're making me realize something that I don't want. Sa amin naman, it's more of, it's important to be aware of it. Then, don't be too hard. Parang, acknowledge reality, di ba? And We're here.
But
We
they
want
have
you
to
to grow
realize,
further.
what they have to realize is that the only reason we can talk about this is because we've been through this.
Right. Right.
Kumbaga, the people na yung ginagawa naming may example, once upon a time kami yan.
Mm.
Diba? Like tayo yun eh. Like,
Mm.
most of the time, yung mga bagay na galit ako, more likely dahil ginawa ko siya dati, and I feel so stupid for doing that.
Right. Right.
Kaya ayoko nang ulitin ng iba. So
And
it's
probably,
not because of, ano eh,
yeah, and probably right now we're making mistakes that we're not aware of then.
yeah,
Like
totoo.
the John 6 months from now, the Alan 6 months from now, parang pagbalik, di ba? Mali
Kaya,
yung ginawa mo.
ah,
Right? So, as we
kaya,
speak, we're probably making mistakes as well. But,
yeah, totoo.
yun lang. Yeah. Speaking of mistakes, bro,
Hmm.
what are the mistakes that people make with freelancing that pains you to see? And what should they do instead? Of course, we touch upon them, some of them na kanina. But is there
Yeah.
anything else sa pag nakikita mo parang, in some ways, parang na-hurt ka or parang gusto mo mabago for them?
Tawag dito, di man what irks me, like, yung ano lang talaga, yung hindi pa rin tayo maalis dun sa employment
Mm,
mentality na,
mm,
although employment mentality isn't bad in itself, hindi siya masama eh. But when you apply that, when you have your own business, that's when, alam mo yun, kung
mm.
employee ka, you have employment mentality, that's fine.
Right.
But if you carry your employment mentality on a business, that's when things go south.
Mm,
Like, for example, a lot of people would judge their performance based on how much time they spent on doing it.
mm, mm, right.
Parang ganun. And for us, ng mga Pinoy, it seems normal, di ba? Kasi mga construction worker, nakikita mo, binabayaran sila per hour, ganun, mga tao sa paligid mo, sa opisina, halos lahat ganun eh. And it's rare for Filipinos na alam na iba yung tingin when it comes to time.
Mm,
Sobrang bihira. In fact, when I talk about this, I always make the example of, halimbawa, gusto kong pumayat. Halimbawa, may customer na gustong pumayat. Sinong babayaran mo ng malaki? Yung albularyo na kumatay ng 300 manok, nagsabog ng bigas sa nagpatulo ng dugo, etc. Sumayaw sa ilalim ng buwan for 30 days.
mm,
Ang ending, wala man lang nabawas sa taba mo. Versus option number 2, yung tropa mo na nagbigay lang sa'yo ng papel tapos nakalagay lang doon, no rice kapag gabi na.
right.
Yun ang ginawa niya, no rice kapag
Ah,
gabi na.
ah,
Pero pumayat ka,
ah.
sino babayaran mo?
Siyempre si No Rice.
No rice, di ba?
Oo.
Like, I don't care kung isang taon pa nag-ritual yung albularyo. Kung hindi naman ako pamayat, wala na.
Mm,
Basically, hindi na fulfill yung yung goal ko, which is pumayat. Kaya ako nga siya tinawag para pumayat ako.
mm,
Di ba?
right.
But most freelancers are like that, yung albularyo. They let me
Mm,
do this, let me do that, let me do, like, they try to stack what they do.
mhm,
Kaya nga uso sa uso sa tawag dito, uso sa freelancers yung yung ano mga skills mo. Like, parang the more skills they have, the the better it is.
right.
Yan, parang ganon. Parang naging badge of honor na, wow, galing mo, may alam mo to, alam mo to, alam mo to, alam mo to.
Mm,
Kasi they feel na the more they do, the more chances na babayaran sila ng mas malaki. Kasi nga naman, di ba? Ang dami kong ginagawa, oh.
mm,
So, yun yung parang, pet peeve, but more like, I wish more people would understand that it's not about the time you spent doing it. Hindi siya eh. Hindi yun ganun eh. Like, sinong babayaran mo yung social media manager mo na ang daming ginawa? interview dito, interview doon, blah, 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 etc., etc. O yung TikTok star na nagsabi lang, sumayaw lang sa harap, tapos sabi, go to this link, tapos ang daming bumili. Di ba syempre yung TikTok star? Although hindi the same yung work involved, but yung, yung nag-TikTok yung maraming ano eh, yung may nasolve yung problema eh. Di ba? So, yun lang. Gusto ko lang makuha ng, not really makuha, but I do wish more people would adapt yung ganong, kumbaga, at least see that kind of mindset at work na,
Right.
hindi ko na pala kailangan sobrang daming i-offer. Just need to solve this one problem and then that's it.
Parang ano na rin yan, bro, di ba? Parang time in, time out mentality di ba? Na parang
Yeah.
I get paid for the time I put in, the effort I put in. And anyone would take a leave or go out early, parang, he don't deserve the same wage as I
Same
do.
salary and stuff. Yeah, but
Yeah.
I mean, di ko naman nila lahat eh. There are jobs in the internet naman that requires you to be there.
Right.
Walang problema doon if it requires you to be there.
Right.
It's just that sometimes hindi ka naman pala required to be there. Pero ano mo yun? Halimbawa, kailangan namin ng VA position. Most of us won't even ask bakit para saan yung VA. Well, ito kasi yung roles and responsibilities ng VA. Okay, what exactly is the problem we're solving here? Wala man, bihira, sobrang bihira, ano nagtatanong ng gano'n. Sobrang bihira, that even clients themselves and interviewers found themselves surprised. Sila mismo hindi sila makasagot. Basta kilala ng VA. Hindi nila masagot din kasi hindi rin nila alam kung mismo ano yung problema eh. And sometimes people need our help to identify if may problema ba talaga sila. Parang gano'n.
I think very important yan kasi I think two things, no? Isa din if you accept that mindset, yung new mindset, it's liberating eh. Kasi it doesn't mean, ibig sabihin, hindi ko pala kailangan magtrabaho ng X amount of time to earn this much. In fact, you can even work less and earn more. And that can be liberating feeling. And also, I think what I'm hearing now is parang you're challenging people to think parang on a higher plane. No, kasi those things that you suggest, nabanggit mo nga, parang it doesn't come naturally for us. Like, when we see a job description, we assume na napag-isipan na nila to, ito yung kailangan nila. When, in fact, parang if we really look into it, if we think ourselves more of as a partner than somebody na for
actually.
hire, di ba? Parang, ba't mo ba kailangan to, di ba? It parang forces them to think of them at an equal plane. Kasi something that minsan may default power dynamic agad yun eh. Di ba? May yung power dynamic na somebody hiring you and you being hired, parang may deficit na sila agad yung may power in that relationship. But if you think of yourself not necessarily as a service provider but as a partner, parang automatically before you even open your mouth, di ba? Parang mas pantay na yung feeling. And you can not really challenge what they need, but more be in the position to inquire because you might have a better solution na parang you wouldn't really think, even consider na, ay, pwede ko pala gawin yun if yung power dynamic hindi balance na gano'n.
And that's another thing, man. Like, a lot of people are uncomfortable losing some opportunities. Like, for example, about VA. And then I realized, I'm sorry, hindi nyo pala kailangan ng VA. Bye-bye. A lot of people are uncomfortable doing that.
Right.
Kasi they feel na every client na makasalubong nila is a client. Kumbaga, di ba, sabihin natin, it happens na gano'n, you found a client, hindi mo man chinek kung ano yung problema, they hired you. The usual thing that's gonna happen is, couple of months down the line, ikaw ang unang sisipain nila palabas. Kasi, for them, wala ka namang problemang sinusolve. And you can be replaced by someone better. Always. Diba?
Right.
So, it also takes guts to to say no kapag hindi mo sila kayang tulungan.
Right.
Di ba? And for
Yeah.
most people, medyo, siya, I don't know, parang hirap silang to, to actually, alam mo yun, like parang lagi sila sabi sa akin, when I was teaching this to other people, lagi nababanggit yung, ano yun, pera na, may bato pa. Di ba? Sa akin naman, valid naman na yun yung iniisip nila. But then again, not every opportunity comes without a cost. Diba?
Yeah,
So
great
that
point.
may be an opportunity now, sure, may trabaho ka ngayon. But that also means na wala ka ng oras to actually get the right client for you. Wala ka na actually oras to get the client that you actually would want to help and the client that would actually benefit sa ginagawa mo, leading to a longer, more prosperous relationship, whatever. Diba?
I'm curious, bro, like with your, bigla ko lang naisip to when you were saying that, no? Na parang gut feel ko is like when a deal falls through na hindi mo na-close yung client, it feels like the burden for that happening is on the freelancer. Na parang it's a missed shot, di ba? But in reality, hindi natin inisip na you save yourself from working with parang so-so client in exchange for a better client. Parang pag hindi ko to na-close, it's against my record. Would you agree ba? What's your thought there?
I agree, man. And totoo. Kasi ito nga, like, I don't know, I think it would be even better to treat freelancing, like to treat getting clients as if getting someone to marry. Parang ganun. Sure ka ba na kukuha ka lang ng kung sino-sino dyan simply because umuo sila? Hindi naman. Kapag, di ba, like, kahit siguro maraming may gusto sa akin sa kalye, like, syempre kukunin ko pa rin kung sino yung gusto kong mapangasawa. Kasi pag inasawa ko na yung hindi ko naman gusto, tapos dumating yung yung dream girl ko talaga, di kakanta lang ako ng Bakit Ngayon Ka Lang, di ba? Mga ganun.
Right.
But yeah, we're just trying to make the example na parang sobrang parang tawag dito. It may, I don't know, parang hindi mangyari sa totoong buhay, but it's basically the same when getting clients na hindi mo naman talaga gusto, hindi naman talaga fit, hindi naman talaga, simply because dahil wala lang, gusto ko lang nila.
Would you say, bro, na one of the reasons for that is maybe they don't even know sino yung client na perfect fit for them?
Dude, that's straight, pare, sobrang 100% bullseye, hit the nail on the head. Kaya natatawa ako dati when people ask me, where can I find clients? Tapos when I throw back the question, okay, sino pa yung ideal client mo? Tapos hindi nila alam. Tapos parang, ang tanong lang naman doon is, okay, so paano mo hahanapin yung hindi mo kilala? Parang, sabawa, may missing person, tapos nakalagay lang doon mukha na question mark. How or other, ito na lang yun eh. Hindi lang ikaw ang hindi makahanap, other people can't help you as well. Di ba? And when it comes to freelancing, importante na alam din ng ibang tao kung sino yung sinaserve mo para sila mismo, ay nga pala, may kilala ako, ito yung niya, yung market niya. I-refer ko na lang siya sa'yo. Ganun. So, alam mo yun, sabi ko, yun nga buti na banggit mo yun, at being with ideal target market. It's like posting a missing persons poster. Na-question mark lang yung, silhouette lang na black, tapos question mark yung nakalagay. Tapos name, question mark. Occupation, question mark. Features, question mark. Hindi mo talaga mahanap yung ganong klaseng tao.
What are some, siguro, bro, like for the dream client, what would they say, what information would they at least have to say sa missing person? At least for you, what would be the critical information for a freelancer to have para ma-identify yun?
Actually, it doesn't really matter kung sino yung, kasi it all boils down to choosing, not really choosing the right one. It's not that wala namang right market eh.
Right.
Diba? Kung merong the right market, edi sana lahat tayo nandun na. But wala eh, halo-halo, malaking mundo, ang daming every year there's a new market being created. Walang right market in a way. Yung iba kasi, ang pinaka-problema is that people are afraid of choosing.
Right.
Yun yung pinaka-dilemma actually. Like even if I give, ito ang nakakatawa nga, even if I give, kailangan ganito, kailangan ganyan. Tapos ito, nakakatawa, maghahanap sila ng ganon, diyan, ito okay na to, na-meet mo niya to, na-meet niya ba to, na-meet niya ba to, oh, edi yan na yung market mo. Sasabihin sa akin, kaya lang dyan parang ano eh, what the fuck? Like, I just gave you the criteria, tapos ayaw mo pa rin siyang sundin. Kasi may gut feel siya na baka hindi daw yun yung market niya. Feeling niya baka ito, mas dapat dito siya. So the problem really isn't about the criteria. Like, to hell with the criteria. Yung criteria lang naman na sinasabi namin, it's easy. Dalawa lang naman yun eh. It's, kailangan nahanap mo sila. Kailangan marami sila.
Okay.
Yun lang naman yun eh. Madali silang hanapin, marami sila.
Okay.
And the only reason for that is it gives you chances to actually connect. Yun lang naman yun. To talk to them, to connect with them, to ano. Kasi it's futile to choose a client or a market or a segment of the market na hindi naman nakikita. Paano sila kunin kliyente, di ba? Yun.
Right.
It's futile then to choose a market na nakikita mo nga, pero konti lang. Diba? What are the odds? Like, kumbaga, might as well give yourself as many chances of winning one. Diba? So yun lang naman, dalawang criteria lang yung hinahanap. But the real problem, the real dilemma, is people are afraid of choosing. And one of the biggest reasons why people are afraid of choosing is kapag pinili ko tong market na to, mababawasan na yung kukuha magiging client ko. Yun ang laging dahilan. At the back of their heads, pag pinili ko to, hindi na ako pwede kumuha ng client na ganito. Hindi na ako pwede kumuha ng client na ganito. It's as if they're thinking agad na, alam mo yun, actually medyo laki ng ego ng mga taong kadalasan nag-iisip ng ganun kasi are you telling me na kaya mo i-serve lahat ng lahat ng markets? Diba? Like it's not, hindi naman yun eh. But more like, takot lang talaga sila kasi they feel that something's being taken away from them kapag pumili sila ng isa. Yan. Parang buffet. Sinabi ko sa'yo, manok lang masarap. Kaya lang, baka masarap din siya. Yung baka magutom ako pag, tapos paano kung hindi ko pala to gusto, ganon. Hindi ko pala to gusto, tapos dinala ko na sa lamesa ko, di babalik ulit ako. Ganon. So, it's, if they could only choose, kasi ang goal lang naman is makapili. And then, like we talked about earlier, di ba, to experiment, to validate. So, basta you chose something, you chose a market, i-validate mo lang kung gusto nila yung solution mo sa problema nila. Pag may bumili, edi yes, okay na yung market mo. Pag wala, here's the part na akala ko ba choose one market, pwede ka naman magpalit eh. No one's stopping you from choosing and then switching to a different market. Pero I don't know, hindi ko alam kung bakit, but we always have this problem na kapag pinili ko to, dapat sure na kasi final na. Parang ganun. And I don't know where that's coming from. Where do you think yung ganung you know?
I think medyo scarcity mindset, part of it could play a part. Kasi kung iisipin mo, if nagnegosyo ka, so like kung traditional business, I would imagine na kailangan mas sure bet ka kasi you're gonna pay for property, for rental, for signage, for the name. So that pretty much kailangan sure ball ka doon, di ba? Ang laki ng consequence. But nandito na nga tayo sa situation, exactly. Dito na tayo sa situation na for you to decide, you don't have to pay for a signage, for a logo. All you have to set is sa utak mo lang na ito yung market ko. And maybe a few lines on your profile na ito yung sinaserve mo. That's it. If you want to change, actually, ang dali palitan. Unlike sa trad business, di ba? So, I think it's part of it, siguro yun nga, coming from employee mindset. And yun nga yung scarcity at the same time. In the sense na, kasi generally what I notice like with entrepreneurs, medyo mas, there are entrepreneurs na bihira nga yung successful entrepreneur na isa lang ginagawa. Parang they feel na they would add on new businesses
Ah,
kasi parang they see a lot of abundance opportunities
right.
na, and a lot of them yung nag-succeed generally nasa isang industry lang naman din sila eh. Like they miss most opportunities than they get, di ba? So even
Ito yung nakakatuwa kasi. Kaya I'm really obsessed with choosing a market.
mhm,
So once you choose a market, the number of products, services,
mm,
and value you can provide is unlimited.
mm, mm,
Kasi it's no longer about sinong may kailangan ng product ko, but
mm,
more like, ano-ano mga products ang kailangan nito?
right, right.
Diba?
And
Parang ang dali ng gawan ng paraan.
minsan na-underestimate natin yung potential ng isang market lang eh.
Actually.
So
Actually.
na-underestimate natin. I belong to this isang group where we refer business to each other. And parang may exclusivity siya. So you can't have this two people serving the same market.
Kaya,
So this one business, actually ang dami nilang services. But since one of their services conflicts with another member, they can't promote that. They promoted one part, say the e-com part lang ng business nila. So
mm,
they do digital marketing overall, but for that group in particular, they only represent say e-com. Ang lobas, napaganda pa. Kasi when people think of e-com na marketing, default agad siya. Whereas before na parang, alam mo,
nice.
medyo mas kalat. So ngayon, mas napadami pa. Because clearly, parang she put the flag na yung e-com sa akin. Even,
Akin to.
oo, akin to. So parang, ganun din. Parang if you don't choose one, parang yung flag mo, parang half mast lang lagi or sa ground. But if you choose one, makikita din yun ng mga market mo na, oy, okay, siya yung kailangan ko. So, it doesn't mean you can't offer other services.
Yeah.
Kasi, ang
Mm.
advantage of finding your market, mas madali yung entrance. Kasi, ikaw agad maisip nila. Once nandun na sila sa mundo mo, if you have
Kahit
other
ang service na yun
services,
eh.
mas madali na, di ba? Ang importante, mapasok mo sila eh. So, yeah.
People underestimate that, yung having the foot on the door.
Mm.
Na
Mm-mm.
they think that in order to conquer a market or whatever, they have to do something grand. They have to do
Mm.
something huge. Alam mo yun? They're
Mm.
thinking about great plans, etc. What they don't understand usually is yung power ng tawag dito, word of mouth.
Right.
Kasi
Mm.
malamang sa hindi, if you're in just one market in a specific area, malamang ikaw pinag-uusapan nila.
Mm.
Di ba?
Right, right,
Kasi malamang iba, attorneys ka. Attorney sa New York. Halimbawa lang naman.
right.
Attorney sa New York yung market mo. Malamang sa hindi, pag gumawa ka ng website sa isang attorney doon, yung ibang attorney may kita yun eh. Yung website na
Mm.
ginawa mo. Di ba?
Agree.
Tapos tatanungin niya, bro, ganda ng website mo. Sino gawa yan?
Right. Alam
People
mo bro, like
underestimate that eh.
part of it, di ko sure what you'd think of it. Actually, it's something on my mind recently din na parang it might help you then not to hang out with a lot of freelancers too much. Kasi what I mean by that is, sabi natin, website designer ka, then you're surrounded by A-level website designer. You'll always feel parang deficient. But if you hang out, say, sabi natin, New York na lawyers, then if you're the only
Or they
website
hang
developer
out
there,
with us too. They hang out with us
oh,
too. Tingin,
with us too,
itaas yung
di
tingin
ba?
sa sarili nila. Ganun.
Then, di ba, makikita nila yung value niya. And sometimes nasa context yung expertise eh. Like kung
Yeah.
you're always in the circle na parang same kind ng services, you'll always feel inferior. But if you put your offer in front of people who will actually pay for it, parang, okay, ikaw na yung superstar in that niche, in that area. So, maybe something to think about din. Para, sometimes kasi mental health din yun eh. Yung parang,
Totoo.
di ba?
And also, di ba mapapansin mo sa tribe, we divided into ACs. And we
Mm.
want ACs to be a mix of skills, hindi AC na
Mm.
pare-parehas.
Right.
Kasi there's nothing to learn kapag, not really nothing to learn, but learning is limited kapag you just talk to the same people with the same
Right.
skills in the same industry.
Right.
Sobrang limited eh. As in, you're
Mm.
stunting your growth by doing that.
Mm.
Kahit ako, ayoko ng ganun eh. If I'm asking for
Right.
advice, I'm asking for an advice from someone na hindi email marketer.
Mm.
Kasi
Mm.
they get to see what I don't see.
Right. Right.
Yun yung
Agree.
pinakamagandang part doon. They get to see what I don't see.
Mm.
Eh kung email marketer ka kausapin ko, sabihin mo lang din sa akin the same things that I'm seeing. Like, okay. You're just
Mm.
proving me right.
Right. Right. Yeah. And I think like exposing yourself in other worlds is always healthy eh. Kasi you can
Yeah.
bring different perspective. And
Hmm?
even like for us na emails, like it always helps na expose ka sa ibang mundo because you have fresh analogies, fresh
Totoo.
fresh content, di ba? I think it applies
Totoo.
hindi lang sa creative side eh, pati sa overall like connecting with people. It makes everything easier.
Right. And you mentioned kanina na wag mag-stick, not for them to stick with too much with freelancers na ano. Kasi they've been asking me this question a lot. Like, sinong pina-follow mo sa social media? Sinong,
Right.
ano? And I'm honest naman, Will. Sabi ko, wala akong masyadong pina-follow. If anything, I would even suggest na you follow your market.
Mm. Mm.
Like, kung meron ka mang-i-stock sa social media, yung market mo, kung anong ginagawa nila, kung anong mga pinag-uusapan nila, kung ano yung, alam mo yan, yung mga kwentuhan nila sa chat, mga ganun.
Mm.
Sabi ko, that would put your business ng mas mataas versus
Right.
using a couple of few na influencers na gusto mong pakinggan and
Right.
ano. Kasi wala naman silang alam sa market mo eh.
Right.
And at the end of the day, the ones buying your service, the ones buying your product, the ones that are seeing the value na meron ka is your market. So
Mm.
your time's better spent stalking those people versus
Right.
listening to another podcast for the end time
Agree.
with the same lesson, etc.
Right. Agree, agree. When I say nga like may example ako na for people with rheumatoid arthritis, for example, yung market ko. Um, doon ko na-realize ko when I was researching that na malaki isa sa, I wouldn't say everyone, but a large portion of them, isa sa mga big dreams nila is makasuot ng t-shirt. Kasi what they can, ang lagi lang nila nasusuot, mga polo, button up.
Yeah.
Ang reason being is masakit sa kanila i-raise yung arms nila. So, pag polo, ganun lang. Pag t-shirt, syempre, tataas mo. So, parang dream come true na yung maka-t-shirt. So, if market mo sila, di ba, you hang around with that market and
That
you
market,
speak
yeah.
those words, alam mo yung ganong feeling nila. Yung the fact na kilala na pag pumasok sila sa clinic, to some extent, natutuwa sila at nalulungkot at the same time. Nakilala na siya lahat ng people in the clinic. Kasi ang dalas niya bumalik doon. Which is parang, I mean, heartbreaking, heartwarming at the same time. So yung mga insider na ganon, something that you can know if you hang around with your market. And it will make
Totoo.
you easier for you to position your offer.
Yeah, actually, ganun ba yun? There was this diabetes offer.
Mm.
Tuwang-tuwa ako kasi, not really tuwang-tuwa, but more like, yung nagsulat doon is really in touch with the market.
Mm.
Kasi nalaman niya na by this time, yung mga taong may diabetes, takot na takot. Kasi diabetes plus COVID is equals to almost death.
Mm.
Parang ganun.
Right,
So
right.
parang, alam mo yun, tapos na-connect niya sa mga nangyayari ngayon. Kasi,
Mm.
galing nung
Right, right,
like, that's something that you would not know
right,
kung you're not in the forums, in the,
right.
alam mo yun, kung wala kang pakialam sa market mo.
Correct. And tsaka
And
you can't do that if ang dami mong market. Di ba?
actually, oo,
Yung
mahirap,
level of depth,
mahirap yan.
mahirap.
Mahirap. Most people go wide, di ba?
Mm.
Ang maganda pa nga nun is, like, a lot of people don't know this, but at siguro mga fourth stage ng business or fifth, yeah, mga fourth, ganun. one of the biggest things, mawala na sa'yo lahat na trabaho. Like, kumbaga, meron ka kumuha nitong trabaho to, like, meron ka ng mga tao. Yung pinaka main na job mo doon is to stay in touch with your market. Like 80% thinking of what's the ano yung mga problema ng market ko pa na hindi ko pa nasosolve, and then what could I do to better serve them.
Right.
That's like kumbaga at that stage, that's where the bulk of your attention goes. Staying in touch with the market, which is para sa mga nagsisimula, parang it doesn't make sense. Bakit kailangan kong but for business na sobrang lalaki na, that's where the bulk of the attention of the CEO goes. Like, it's less on the strategy side, less on getting clients, less on the, it's more about going back sa market and seeing paano pa ba namin sila tutulungan ng mas maganda.
Right. Agree. And that's what I noticed din sa mga yung mga entrepreneurs na they're very in touch with yung mga habits ng tao, what they want, what they don't want, what they'll do, what they'll wear, what they'll never wear. So parang mapapansin mo
Even including para matatawa ka when I was first handed out a research packet during my copywriting, pa talaga nung paisagsagan ng copywriting. We even know kung saan nila ginagamit yung mga card. And kung anong brand ng damit yung binibili. As in, ganun ka-detail. At meron pa yung part na natatawa ako yung yung inalmusal.
Wow.
Yung ganito yung usual, anong brand ng inalmusal nila. Ano yung sino yung paborito nilang artista. I remember yung makeup na brand na sinulatan ko before. And then yung mga artistang fina-follow. Sabi ko, grabing research to. Holy shit. Ang daling magsulat when you know those things.
Right.
Kasi kung isipin mo favorite artist nila, lalagay ko ng subject line, Jessica Alba says hi. Alam mo, like, what the hell? Like, abubusan mo yan eh. Like, hindi. Gusto ko learn.
Right.
Like, a lot of people don't realize how important being in touch with their market is. I know we're going too deep. Sobrang lalim na nito, pre. Versus normal freelancing. But, we're trying to build a business and your business won't exist without your market.
And I think like even if malalim to, I think this is the foundation din na kailangan matutunan. Parang kasi like you can Google all the tactics you'll ever need. Diba? But if you don't understand yung concept, yung mindset, yung parang power dynamics in critical thinking, it's gonna be difficult eh. Parang hindi mo alam saan ilalagay yung tactics. And understanding this, I think will help you parang audit yung sarili mong offer, yung alok mo, bakit hindi siya nag-work. Rather than parang focusing on the tiny knobs na hindi naman nag-move ng needle. But,
totoo. Like, that's really it eh. Parang, dito, going back to the market, parang, ba, beauty, mga 40 years old na tapos binibenta mo yung makeup mo. Sabihin natin, bumibenta ka ng service. Ang service mo is pampaganda. When in fact, yung mga at the 40 plus na level, pa sinabi mo, nga pala, bilhin niyo itong pampaganda ko. Tapos tatakabit mo lang bumibili. Kasi you're wording it pala wrong. Parang now they're no longer, it's about bringing back their youth.
Right.
Kapag 40 plus, it's bringing back 10 years back ng na vitality, whether it's vitality or yung skin nila.
Right.
So, sobrang that's a huge difference between the way you usually sell yung yung services and the value that we provide. Minsan, we think na we have all the talent in the world, pero pag pinitch natin, walang dating because we're not solving the right problem based on the market na pinili natin. It's like, okay, why would I need that? Eh, hindi naman yan yung gusto ko. Correct. Although sobrang galing mo na, 10 years of experience, ang dami mong certificate, ang dami mo, and then people are wondering, ba't mo kumukuha sa akin?
Right.
More likely than not, hindi mo nahuli yung yung hindi mo na pinpoint exactly kung ano yung
Mm.
problem na gusto nilang masolve.
Right. Exactly. Parang, I mean, if you know it, everything else can be, parang automatically ma-elevate yung writing mo, yung
Totoo.
messaging mo, kahit hindi ka magaling kasi it's not about what you write, it's about what people want to hear, 'di ba? And it's gonna be much easier if you know exactly ano yung iniisip nila na never nila sinasabi. Yeah. And siguro bro,
Solid sa
yung mga interview, I'm a firm believer that some of the best interview relies on the quality of the question. And I
hmm.
don't want that burden, so I'm gonna ask you, what do you wish, what do you wish people ask you about freelancing?
Ah, now I have the burden na actually I've been doing a lot of interviews for about freelancing, and
Mm.
siguro I've received every every question imaginable na. But if siguro it's not about the question, it's not about a question being asked, but more like uh it's more like it's more like yung what I want to see freelancing sa dito sa Pinas at the very least in the
Mm.
future. Kumbaga, other people would listen to this just trying to get that next paycheck. Other people would just trying to break through the smart. Other people would listen to this. Meron ng tao, I just want to get that extra push to get to the seven figures.
Mhm.
But yung reason why I'm going through interviews like this isn't really mga secondary lang yun. What I really want is for people to understand na the freelancing dito sa Pinas, hindi tataas yung quality, yung standard. It's not gonna get any better if wala tayong pakialam sa ibang freelancers. And kumbaga, this is more like not really a call to arms, but more like, it's like an invitation na, ano, na, kumbaga, get with other freelancers. Kumbaga, let's try to elevate it at a level wherein freelancers are seen as problem solvers, like consultants, mga ganun, versus someone just taking an order, parang taga McDonald's, ganun, parang cashier sa McDonald's, like ganun. Like, there's nothing wrong with being sa McDonald's, na McDonald's ako dati. But, kumbaga, let's elevate it more as, and that won't happen unless we get to educate a whole lot more people. So, kung sino man nakikinig dito, I really suggest na kung ano man yung matutunan mo, share mo sa iba. Share to other people, even those who are not aware of freelancing, even if those who are not, alam mo yun, or doing freelancing in a different way. Because that's the only way na kakayanin natin, like, kumbaga, the freelancing industry is only as strong as its weakest member. So, yun lang naman sa akin. Like, it's not really a question that I want to ask people, people to ask me, but it's more like a sentiment na gusto ko lang mag-gets ng mga tao. Like, a lot of people are asking me, like, why the fuck are you doing this? Like, ano bang, that's exactly what I want. Like, that the only way I could get more out of being a freelancer is if lahat tayo lumakas. Diba? Like, gusto mong higher fees, then as a freelancing industry, dapat lahat tayo magkaisa dyan. Hindi yan tataas ng sobrang taas kung may nakikita pa rin silang may naiiwan sa baba. Diba? So, like I said, the freelancing industry is only as strong as its weakest member. So, if we could share it, educate them, walang, I mean, ayoko nang may mga barriers sa freelancing industry kasi may mga grupo-grupo na, na hindi inclusive, ganun. Like, they treat newbies like trash. Nagtatanong yung newbie, sabihin, Google mo kasi. What the fuck? Di ba? Kumbaga, they're thinking na pinagdaanan namin to, dapat pagdaanan nyo rin. Diba? Eh sa akin naman, pinagdaanan ko na yan, so the least I could do is not make you go through the same thing that I went through. And if we could do that to every new freelancer na napapasok, it's gonna be a much better industry. Diba? Kaya nga, sabi ko nga sa kanila, hindi ba kayo nagtataka? Freelancing has been here sa Pinas for more than decades now. And hanggang ngayon hindi pa rin siya alam ng tao. That's how bad the industry is. Like, sobrang tagal na niya, pero hanggang ngayon parang sikreto pa rin siya. Diba? And yun yung ano sa akin eh. Like, and I don't want to go through the next decade na alam mo yun, na sikreto pa rin siyang malupit. Yung freelancing. Like, yun yan, it's like sinasabi, I want freelancing one day na to be mentioned under the same breath and reverence as a doctor, lawyer, engineer. And we can't do that if hindi natin tutulungan yung isa't isa. If we're gonna be unkind sa mga bagong pasok, if we're not gonna hold each other yung integrity when it comes to doing the service, and mahirap pag hindi tayo sama-sama. Yan.
Well said, bro. If they want, kung nabitin sila sa ano mo, bro, call to arms. Where can they raise hell?
They could, thefreelancemovement.com.
Okay.
And they can go to
Gotcha.
thefreelancemovement.com and they can pretty much search everything there naman na. They can even join the group from there. So, thefreelancemovement.com. Yan. Yun lang.
Perfect. Sige. We'll link to that. Yun. Thank you, bro. Parang usap lang tayo. Uh, uh, actually, pag
Feel
kami lang
something like
talaga,
I prefer.
if walang recording to, feeling ko mas malalim pa sa rabbit hole. But,
Actually, I was trying
but
to
yeah.
stop myself from
Right.
diving too deep, man.
Yeah, but I think it was like for me, seeing your perspective, it's something relatable, and I think we touch on something that well, personally I haven't seen a lot, no, yung with regard to some of the mindset and maybe some of the hurdles na nag-hold back sa atin. And yeah, like for me lang, if you're watching this, the goal of the video is to empower you, no, not to make you feel guilty or anything. That's the least we want to do. We want you to elevate your game, your thinking, and if you're not yet there, I highly suggest checking out John's community. We'll link to it, and yeah, you'll see more of John doon. Iba-iba pang hairdo, depende sa season. Alright. Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys.
Yung buko, no? Thanks, man.
Thank you, guys.